Hello and welcome to another episode of Sandie's Bookworms. This month's bookworm is a bit different than those that I've shared so far. It's a work of fiction that might initially appeal to women more than men, though I would definitely encourage enlightened men to read it. I'll tell you why in a moment. I met the author of this book several years ago on the Virtual Light broadcast, back when we used to film the show in front of a live audience in Las Vegas. The book she was promoting then was her memoir, Unearthing Venus. It was so good, and her writing was so impressive that we stayed in touch and continued our conversations over the years. The author's name is Kate Montana, and I'm going to start by reading the opening words of her first novel, which is the book I want to share with you. It started with a vision. It was spring 2015 and I was in Greece visiting the temple of Apollo at Delphi. The second day I was there, I hiked up Mount Parnassus to get away from the tourists. There, on a windswept cliff, high above the ancient temple complex, a gorgeous man appeared out of nowhere. He sat down next to me and said, "Hi, I'm Apollo. I have things to tell humanity. Let's talk." And then he was gone. Apollo and Me is the story and conversation that unfolded from that extraordinary meeting. Now, it's not often that a writer or a book leaves me struggling for words, but Kate Montana has done it twice. First, with her achingly honest, raw, and frequently very funny memoir, Unearthing Venus, and now with her first work of fiction, some might call it that, which is called Apollo and Me. The problem is I find it impossible to describe the impact both books had on me without sounding like a rabid groupie. But it's not just Montana's writing skill which fills me with envy, or the way she sets up her stories, both the real events and the ones she invents, so that when a denouement comes, it strikes you like a physical punch in the gut. It's more of an alchemical combination, a magical blending, I think, of her sublime writing style, expert pacing, her rhythm and her plotting, and her enviable mastery of the art of storytelling. But even that doesn't convey the impact that Apollo and Me has had on me and several others who took up my challenge to read it. So, having spent hours trying and failing to find words that would do justice to Apollo and Me, I'm just going to say this. Regardless of your agenda, read this book. And in the event that you feel moved at any point in the early pages to dismiss it as merely a love story, dismiss the thought instead. Move beyond it and keep reading, because you haven't got to it yet. Then, when you get to the part where the unexpected happens, and you feel yourself recoiling, speechless in shock, take a few moments or days to just sit with your thoughts, and as the faint whispers of ancient memories or recognition stir, or a deep welling of empathy rises, as I'm sure it will, pay close attention to how your body responds, as this is the point where you may hear or feel your soul responding. And this is when you may comprehend that what appears on the surface to be merely a superior version of a Harlequin-style romance actually contains some of the deepest and most radical spiritual information you've ever encountered, which may cause you to wonder, how much of this is truth and how much of this is fiction? Apollo and Me is a love story that blends spirituality, mythology, reincarnation and sexuality, a sensuous tale of an older woman's awakening to the divine feminine and the real nature of the gods under the tutelage of her cross-lifetimes lover, the Greek god Apollo. And as I said, don't be put off by those words, love story. Kate Montana has a master's degree in psychology and speaks and teaches about consciousness, quantum physics and spirituality. An author, writing coach and a noted authority on ego evolution, transpersonal psychology, transcendent states of consciousness, spiritual enlightenment, and feminine and masculine archetypes, Kate's main focus today is bringing information about the mystery of the feminine nature and an understanding of the profound energetic forces behind both genders to a mainstream audience. Of all the books I've read, Apollo and Me by Kate Montana stands in a class of its own for many, many reasons, and I think you'll understand some of them if and when you read the book. The book is available in paperback and ebook from outlets like Amazon, and you can find a free downloadable EPUB excerpt at the No BS Spiritual Book Club, where I occasionally share my personal bookworms, by which I mean those rare, thought-provoking, awareness-shifting books that I regard as a cut above the rest for the way they shine new light on how we view life, the world, and ourselves. And Kate has generously added a full-length EPUB gift copy and an MP3 recording of her memoir, Unearthing Venus, for you too. So if this resonates, do take advantage of those gifts. And while you're on the No BS Spiritual Book Club website, why not join the club? There are no ads, no gimmicks, and no BS, just an ever-growing library of 10 best lists from well-known and not so well-known authors, teachers, and speakers you can trust. People like Dan Millman, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., Lee Harris, David G., and many more who've walked this path before you. You'll also find free book excerpts, audios, and entertainment with my weekly live streaming video interviews in which contributors of their lists reveal the intimate details of how their 10 best spiritual books impacted their lives, their thinking, and the work they're doing now. So, if you're looking for the best and most highly recommended spiritual reads to support you on your spiritual journey of self-discovery, check out my 10 best spiritual books archive at the No BS Spiritual Book Club.com, where you can also view over 150 episodes of my weekly interview series. Now, one final thing before we close. Maya Angelou once said that there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. If you feel that you have a book in you, but you have no clue where to begin, how to begin getting it out of your head and into the hands of those who are waiting to read it, visit my website, sedgbeer.com, click on the Work With Me tab, and find out how my experience helping others tell their stories might be just what you've been looking for. That's sedgbeer.com, sedgbeer.com. That's it for this month. I hope you'll join me again next month when I'll be sharing another of my favourite bookworms with you.